family. It's a
What
little
up?
real talk for you. All right, we got a ton to talk about. Tom Arnone, Ryan Brodo, Will Source Rex, Jake Friel. Everybody out there join us today. We are brought to you by our doc, Make Him Yours. That's Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, Princeton locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Doing remote physical therapy right now is the doc. So, don't have to worry about going in. He's changing for the times right now and was on that quick. So you can still contact them, still get a hold of them, and still get through what you need to get through or figure out what exactly is going wrong with you. So that's Dr. Paul Vidal, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Got a jam show in store for you today. Okay, jam-packed show. Let's get that right. Jam-packed show in store for you today. All right, and we're going to be talking crumb of the day later on, which can be so many different things right now. And it could just be simply not having sports or people going outside their house or whatever the case may be. Kirk Herbstreit talking about not having football in 2020. We'll tell you why Kirk is on this kick right now. Later
Fuck you, Kirk.
Sammy Watkins, there's been some rumors. Some people have shot it down, but there's been some rumors connecting Sammy Watkins to the Eagles. We'll discuss it. And ties into our poll question, which is another wide receiver. And that's one, Alshon Jeffery, who, I think if you would have talked to people a week ago, they would have said, no shot, not coming back. Well, his option's been exercised, okay? And it ties into our poll brought to you by Now I'm back. We're back. What just happened? We good?
Whoa.
Yeah,
You're here.
There's a glitch in the Matrix.
There definitely is. Alshon Jeffery will be an Eagle in 2020. Do you agree or disagree? And is that everybody happening too?
Just you, I think, there, Captain.
Yeah, it's just you.
It's just me. That's fine. That's a good time. Glad it's me. Glad it's me. Not even doing anything.
I'm pretty glad it's you.
Nothing different. Now I'm trying to look and see what's going on. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable what's happening right now. Okay? Hardline did. He did a hardline. I can't even bring it up. I'm scared he'll kick us out. You see the hardline somewhere? There's a little line. There's a little
there it is.
black. All right, we're in. I don't know what the problem is, but to the poll question, Alshon Jeffery will be an Eagle in 2020. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, reading off all your comments, questions, excitement for what we think is going to be an NFL season. And I know the NFL came out today and said the draft is still on. So nothing's changed in terms of that as of right now. So we'll see how that progresses. But right now we're talking Eagles and we're talking Alshon Jeffery and will he be an Eagle in 2020? So the poll, do you agree or disagree?
At this point, I agree. I mean, they picked up his option, right? So I guess he will be. I don't see us trading him. And I also don't know how healthy he is. So, we were saying he's probably going to miss half the year, right? Mm-hmm. I guess you just hope that he comes back and he's going to come back and make some plays. Maybe everything's overblown about how fractured the relationship with him and Carson is, which I assume it is overblown because everything's overblown. So,
yeah, exactly. To me, it's funny how things have evolved over the last handful of days because, on Wednesday, it seemed that there was every chance in the world that he wasn't going to be on the team. Now you hear, obviously, Howie Roseman, he has a discussion yesterday, and he talks a lot about Alshon. And people were saying, oh, maybe he's just talking him up. Maybe he's trying to raise his value. No, to me, he's talking like he's still going to be here, like they still believe that he's locked in to be a Philadelphia Eagle and that they hope that he gets back to full strength. Now the narrative over the last week as well. So I heard the same thing you did a few weeks ago that, it could be well into the season before he's ready to go. Now they're talking as if, there's a small chance he'll be ready for week 1. Now, obviously, we're way, way too far away from that to even make a educated guess. But let's just say that he's, has a chance to play week 1, something like that. Now, obviously, they pick up his option. To me, all signs point to, okay, looks like he might stay. And then on top of that, we obviously have talked about it over the last handful of weeks. They haven't gone out and gotten his quote-unquote replacement in free agency. Sure, his replacement could come in the draft, but all signs point to him staying. And I agree with you, Wilson. To me, do I think that there's a better chance that all this over, with Carson and Alshon is overblown? Yes. My main concern, like I've been saying, isn't the whole, the relationship between the two. It's two things. It's his health and it's his hands. Everyone's talked about, oh, he's slowed down. He was never a fast receiver to begin with. He used to be one of the more sure-handed wide receivers in the game. Over the last handful of years, and then obviously coincidentally it started in that New Orleans Saints game, the drop rate for him has gone, and it has basically skyrocketed, which is unusual. So I don't know if that's an example of him being hurt, deteriorating, or whatever. But if he's going to be on the team, I can work with it because, Tom, you've said it numerous times. We were all excited week one or before week one of last season when Alshon was here with Deshaun. We saw what we're capable of when they're both on the field together. So is it the worst thing in the world to have him? No. But it's looking like all points to him still being here in 2020.
What's up to everybody chiming in, by the way? I see everybody chiming in. Chubbs, Mike, what's up, guys? How are you?
Yeah, but I agree to the poll as well. Just based on what everything going on as far as people talking about Alshon. Obviously, they exercised his option for this year. And Howie said in an interview this morning in regards to the whole speculation with him and Alshon Jeffery and Carson Wentz having like a fractured relationship, he said they're fine. So just everything points, at least in my opinion, depending on when he gets healthy, or I'm hoping, at least to what Brodo said, he's healthy at least by week one. Realistically, I don't see him being healthy at least till probably early November, late October. But at the same time, if we're not going to get rid of Alshon, I'm wondering how much this will impact us going into the draft mid-April.
Well, I mean, the poll, I agree, Zach. I mean, I sort of felt like he was coming back even with all this going on, even with the June 1st and being able to save the money. It just had a vibe that he was coming back, that maybe things weren't as bad as we thought they were. It was just injuries, making things 100 times worse, right? Because when you go back and you watch the series on Netflix, it didn't seem at all week one, even week two when he got hurt against Atlanta, that him and Carson had this issue together. I even remember the game in Atlanta where Carson came off the field after an interception. The first guy to talk to him was Alshon. So, I mean, listen, when there's smoke, there's usually some fire. I get it. Things might have been said out of frustrations. Things may have not been said as egregious as they came out. We don't really know. But what we do know is how bad this wide receiver core is. I'll take him at this point if I got to pay him anyway. If I got to pay the guy anyway, I'll take a flyer at this point. I really, truly will. That doesn't mean I don't address it to what Jake's question was in the first round. I absolutely address it. And nobody can run from addressing that period, no matter who you go get right now, because you need a young guy for Carson to grow with. But I have zero issue with the flyer on Alshon and bringing him back and allowing what we saw in week one, maybe healthy-wise of him and Deshaun, maybe see that for, I don't know, maybe 15 games, because I can't trust Deshaun to be healthy. But you saw what them two brought to the table because they were both different. One was a go over the middle guy, sort of catch radius guy, and the other one's I'm gonna take everything over top. So they complemented each other well, only in 1 week, but you could see how they complemented each other. So how I look at it, and Alshon had a good game against the Packers. He had other good, so it's not like it was like, wow, he couldn't play anymore when he was out there. I think the injuries just caught up. That injury caught up to him. And do I want to put out hope that he can be ready in September? Sure. Do I think that them picking up the option sort of leads them to think that he'll be ready by September, maybe late September? That's sort of where my vibe is now. That maybe not a week one guy, but hey, end of September, he's ready to go. So that's sort of what I'm thinking by them picking up the option. And it tells me nobody out there in free agency was wowing them enough to eat all this money and go sign somebody else. That's also what it tells me. And it does not tell me at all that they don't have confidence in the wide receiver in this draft class. It doesn't tell me that at all. It doesn't change that thought process. It just simply tells me, hey, everything out there wasn't an upgrade over him to be able to eat his money. And that's how I look at it.
I agree there, Tommy, for sure. I mean, there's not a lot out there. There wasn't even a lot out there to begin with. Of Robbie Anderson, who's that high on Robbie Anderson? There's not that many. There wasn't that many out there.
Yeah, Pyro Man.
Perriman, I'm not. He played great for 6 weeks. I mean, he's been in the league for 4 years.
Exactly.
There's not a lot of guys I'm that high on that are out there. Taylor Gabriel's a guy that I do like, who's still out there, but I still would bring a cheap veteran receiver in. I know everyone likes fucking Greg Ward and shit, but I don't know. I'm not sold on guys that played 3 games because everybody was hurt. I need to see a lot more. All right, I'll bring a veteran in that's got a track record. I'm fine with that.
Well, let me ask you this question, right? If Alshon played for a different team, all right, and this offseason we brought him in, right? I think people would be like, well, if he's healthy, he can play, right? I think, as a fan base, that would be our narrative. If he's healthy, he can play. If he's healthy, he can play. Well, that's the same thing here. It's the same thing here. And, I'm not going to run from the guy that I saw when he's on the field and he's healthy. I'm not going to run from that guy yet because them guys are still can be impactful in this league. Catch radius guys are so important, right? Big targets are so important.
I mean, we won a Super Bowl with him as our number 1. So
yeah. So, I don't want to hear that he can't go over top anybody anymore. He still can because he catches everything underneath so well. So it still gives him that ability to still go over the top. It just hasn't been seen because really he hasn't been on the field for almost a year. So I think with him, Deshaun, you pray JJ takes a step, Greg Ward, and then obviously addressing this in the draft and being one of your first pick, if not your second at worst. So I don't think it changes any of that. I don't want to say I'm excited about it, but I think it just, like I said, it just makes me think that he's healthier, or they think he's moving further along with this than we initially thought.
Yeah, and also on top of that, and again, this could just be Howie Roseman talking, or it can mean something. He's talked about, how Alshon is very aware about how the fan base feels about him, and it's making him hungrier again. He's working hard and hard. Well, I think we can all, maybe not all of us. Tell me if you disagree with it, and fam at home chime in on this too. I always got the vibe that, especially over the last season, for example, I'm not going to go back 2 years. It seemed like he kind of checked out a little bit. People were saying, because he got the guaranteed money, it was because of the injuries. Maybe he was just not interested, or whatever reason it was. If this locks him back in and he's hungry like he was coming in here, when obviously he had, not the best exit from Chicago, and we saw that hungry Alshon Jeffery. Now, obviously that was a 3-year younger version of Alshon Jeffery before all of this stuff. But if that gets him hungry again, and like Tom, like you said, if this means instead of him missing half the season or, a chunk of the season, he's ready around week 1, week 2, I'm all in for that. And then like you talked about, it's not like we are depending on him to be our number 1 anymore. A situation with obviously somebody, hopefully Jerry Jeudy, or whoever we draft in the first round, along with Deshaun, Alshon, JJ, if he still has a pulse, and Greg Ward, and that's not even counting somebody maybe we take in a later round. That's there's much worse situations to be in. If we took that and we said, okay, that's going to be the wide receiver situation, and we were talking about this in the middle of last season, we would all be in, because we're looking back at what our wide receiver situation was last season. Just putting that on paper heading into 2020, it's a much better situation to be in.
Yeah, I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to run out and crown him coming back, or it's the greatest thing since Wonder Bread, But at the end of the day, what it is just, hey, this is a group that's not deep. This is a group that there's injury concerns. This is a group with unproven guys. So there was nothing out there that really upgraded you that well outside of the draft. All the deals trade-wise you've tried to get done so far haven't worked out. So I think Howie's like, all right, this is my fallback plan. That I'll just pick up the option or exercise the option, take my chances, address it in the draft, and cross my fingers and pray to God every night I go to bed that I get a healthy Deshaun Jackson and Alshon in 2020. And I think it's as simple as that. I think he's in pray mode. He's in flat-out pray mode, but – hey, I'll pray with you. I got nothing else to do. So I'll sit here and pray with you every night and pray that these two can be somewhat healthy in 2020 and you address it big time in this draft. Now, I said on the record saying, hey, If the best player, you can't get up, and the best player 21 says Henderson from Florida, and it's a corner, you go draft him. And then you got to land guys in the second round then, because it's a deep wide receiver class. So then you got it. You've been home a lot. You've been using these a lot of film. Then you got to nail somebody in the second round. But you cannot run from the fact that, hey, you at the end of the day, first round can't be misses. So I got to go best player on the board if I can't get up, right? I have to. I owe it to my football team, too, to draft best player on the board first round, okay? So if that's a corner, and listen, I'll go in with a top 5 defense in football because that helps my quarterback, too. But, again, that means you have to then nail a guy in the second round, which is doable. A lot of teams do it. You know, it's just Howie doesn't do it.
Not us.
No.
Nope.
I want to address a couple people that are chiming in. I've seen here. Eileen, as of yet, just OTAs are canceled, so nothing's really been canceled NFL-wise yet. Spills is talking about that Alshon's a rat. I would agree with Michael that I think Scandrick was the rat, and I don't believe anything that Josina fucking Anderson says. So I'm still, I don't know. I don't know if I agree that Alshon was a rat. I think there's like you said, there's probably there's probably a little fire. If there's smoke, there's probably a little fire, but I don't think it's anything that we should worry about moving forward. I think Carson as a leader will mend that bridge pretty quickly.
Well, I think he already did, right?
Yeah, I would assume.
And I think you see a guy putting his tail between his legs right now, and Alshon too, right? Because of what happened at the end of 2019. What happened at the end of 2019 is everybody in football knew who the leader of this football team was. You saw guys rally around him, right? So the old narrative that he's not the leader and guys won't play for him, that went out the window in 2019. Completely. Open it up, throw it out the window. That's where that went, because the guy flat out showed you he was the leader of this team. Big plays in big moments. That changes the narrative real quick. So it makes it hard for the other side to have their agenda anymore. So what you saw was a guy put his tail between his legs now and almost crawl back a little bit. And Howie, sort of open-armed, it's my guy, said, welcome back. We'll go to work with you because I owe you a shit ton of money. So please don't bend me over and just hopefully come play in 2020 for me. You know, that's as simple as it is. Simple as it is. But Wentz is the leader of this team. So all that's out the window. I don't give a shit what anybody says about him anymore, because this locker room as a whole respects the hell out of 11 now. And if they did it before and they played with him in 2019, they sure as hell do now. So I think that game's over. So he doesn't have a leg to stand on if he wants to come in this locker room and be a problem in 2020.
Also, I think what people have to understand, because I've seen people in chats, in comments, on Twitter, on Facebook, everywhere, treating it like, fam at home, this isn't Donovan and T.O. 2.0. Like, I think people are like trying to compare it to that. Like, oh no, it can't be fixed. The relationship is broken. It's not that, okay? Like, if we get two adults in the room, and Tom, I agree. I think if we had to bet on it, it's probably already been solved. It's just about him getting healthy now. Mm-hmm. To your point too, Wells, everything's overblown right now. Everything. Like, I think I saw somebody in the comments say, like, everyone's in quarantine, the writers are bored. Of course. We've seen this for years and years and years with Carson, to where if there's a little bit of smoke, they're going to turn it into a friggin' forest fire, to where, oh my God, it's the end of the world. It's his ego. He can't get along with anybody. No, it's not. Some people got in their feelings. Some people maybe deteriorated a little too quick. And there was a lot of frustrating moments over the last 2 years. We'll all agree with that. But like we talked about, if there's a situation on the cards where he's ready by the start of the season or near ready, and we can get something close to what he was, let's say 2 years ago, then I think it's the best situation for us, instead of having to just eat the money and just get rid of him. Or, and you know what, I can't even say or trade him, because I don't even think that's a possibility at this point.
No, I don't think it is, because who wants the money?
Exactly.
Nobody's going to take on the money right now. Nobody's stupid enough to take on the money. I know Bill was talking about and trade to Jacksonville, and that's why I said you can knock off him being in a deal to Jacksonville, because nobody's going to eat that money right now for somebody who hasn't proven themselves in a year. You know, like nobody in the NFL does that. Okay, so to me, listen, I understand, and a lot of family out there chiming in is upset, right? Because he's a rat and this, that, and a third. And I'm right with you. I'm right with you. I just want you to know, though, I'm not worried about that side of it because of Carson. Because I trust in 11 so much as a leader of this football team and the other leaders of this team that I'm not worried about that. And I know there's a lot of people chiming in. We'll read them off. Ricky Colon. It's a Folesian society starting fires with Carson. And like Mr. Mullen did yesterday for Philly Voice, bored, at home, in a quarantine, and wants to come out and write bullshit that's not common sense, right? Like the Eagles don't want to, go out and get a veteran that's his own style. They want to draft somebody who can grow at Wentz. Well, first off, any good organization in football wants to draft a young wide receiver, okay, to grow with their young quarterback and their franchise guy. That's 101. That's been happening in football forever, Mr. Mullen. And forever and ever and ever, that's been happening, okay? So, again, it's lazy, and it's people that want to start something that's not there, right? So he just came out and wrote that, and today the Eagles pick up what? The option, or exercise the option on Alshon. How convenient is that? I thought they wanted a guy that can grow with them. Of course they do. They're going to try to address that in the draft. But it just shows you that Howie Roseman is 110% confident, and so is Doug Peterson, that one, Alshon ain't going to be a problem in this locker room because he can't, because this is 11's room now.
I like it, Tommy. And a couple more people chiming in. Somebody was saying, why are we talking about football at a time like this? All I can say to that guy is fuck off. I like Delpit, Chuck's. I've seen Chuck saying if all the receivers are gone at 21, will you go defense? I like Henderson. I do like Delpit as well. I will go defense if I have to. I'd prefer to go receiver. More people chiming in. Eileen was asking about the Patriots. What do we think? Eileen, to be honest with you, you got Belichick. You'll be fine. You're in the AFC East. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Patriots will still win the division. I don't care what anybody else says. Mark it down. And who else we got? Mike's checking in. I don't even see him as that kind of a human being disguises himself.
Don't forget.
Don't forget. Listen. You don't forget because you're in big trouble.
I'll punch myself live right in the face.
Go ahead. I'm not worried about the punch. I can take it. I'm fine. But you should be worried. Okay. Willosaurus Rex coming. Watch stuff.
Ain't concerned.
You should be.
Concerned. Justin Pope in the house. Yeah. If he
what up, Justin?
2017, Alshon, again, we can do big things this year as long as he gets and stays healthy. And that's the big get. That's why this football team, again, still needs to address it in the draft and continue to try to get younger in key positions. Michael Bernardo, I don't even see him as that kind of human being, or he disguises himself 100%. I think he's talking about Carson with the ego and all that crap. So that's sort of where I think he's going with that.
That shit's lazy. All that Carson is in the egomaniac shit. It's lazy. It's lazy. I don't think it's like it's someone just trying to make shit up, like you've been saying, Tommy.
Yep. Matt Spill says I want the fucker to admit he was a rat and that he was wrong. Does anyone know if Alshon has said anything at all on the subject since it came out? No, I doubt he's going to come out and be like, hey guys.
He should have said fuck Josina Anderson, but I mean, whatever.
Well, a lot of people should say that. So, Eileen says the Eagles are going to dominate this season. Hopefully, you're right.
Eileen will take that. Thank you.
Cheryl says, I hope the rest of you guys can trust Alshon. And I said it, Cheryl, guess what? It's not about trusting Alshon. It's about trusting my quarterback is bigger than that. My quarterback's ego is bigger than that in terms of it doesn't bother him. He's just going to go play football. This locker room rallied around Carson last year. So I don't care if Alshon has an agenda at all because he's not going to have the leg to stand on now. He doesn't. As soon as that guy started to go win games at the end of the year like he did, in overtimes and in big spots and big throws, if you didn't rally around him, you're an idiot, right? And you
decimated by injury.
Yup. Carried. We talked about we need Carson.
4,000 yards with no one over 500, no receiver over 500. I mean, how can he even do that?
Right.
Facts.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Really is. It's absolute shame he didn't get to play in the playoffs, again. And so it keeps that stigma. People are still going to try to ride that stigma, and I hate those people, first off. And second off, It's nonsense. It's nonsense. Dude's a stud. Everyone in the league knows he's a stud. And I hope we go get a young receiver for him to grow with this year in the draft. I'm really hoping for it. I want receiver. I want to move up. I want one of the top 3. I don't care what you got to do. I think Howie can get it done. Go get me somebody. And I'll take any of the 3. I don't give a fuck. I prefer Ruggs, but I don't care.
Wrong again. But I hear you on
Wrong again.
On the top 3.
You're always wrong.
You want Ruggs over the other 2. It's just
I do.
To me.
Why? Because I know how the NFL's played now.
D-guy. I remember
D-backs can't touch nobody, and the dude's the fastest and most athletic in the draft.
God. I remember my first time in shorts in the tee. Right. The guy alongside of him.
The guy's awesome before that.
The guy alongside of him was better.
No, he wasn't.
The guy alongside of him was better.
No, just he's had a better connection with Tua.
Because he's better.
No. You'll see. Ruggs is dynamic, dude. Dynamic. You'll see. You're always wrong, so I know I'm right. It's fine. 0 for your life. Remember this.
Like
0 for your life.
And Alshon. You sound like you're Cena and Alshon.
No, I don't at all.
The same narrative over and over and over again.
There's no narrative.
It's like Ken Carter can't play 16 games. Same narrative you say to me.
What are you doing? Now you're trying to change the subject because you're wrong.
Yeah.
Subject changer.
I'll just see it behind closed doors, right? Tom's never right. My little agenda.
You're an idiot.
Good comeback again.
You are never right. This is facts. Just spewing facts. The only time you were right is when you predicted the Eagles win the Super Bowl, and you predicted every year. So I mean, blind squirrel finds a nut eventually.
That was a different prediction. That was a different prediction. I was in a robe. That was on Tough Times. That answered my franchise guy. Tore everything into his leg. Okay, that was Tough Times. Okay, kid came on the show with a robe, goddamn on.
Did I take you? Did I take you to a playoff game?
And whose jersey do you have?
Did I take you to a playoff game?
You did.
Okay.
Whose jersey did I drive? Whose jersey?
Did I drive?
Well, you had to drive. I had to drink.
Whose jersey did I take off with the robe on? I was in there. Whose jersey?
I don't even remember.
It was Nicky's, and I said, "This is how it ends."
Oh yeah, that jersey's awful, by the way, but it worked. That awful black on black jersey, yeah, terrible jersey.
Yeah, well,
you can't even read the fucking thing.
You get shit for free, you take it, brother. All right.
I would have sent it back, but yeah, I mean it worked. Hey, I'll always love Nick. People don't like Nick anymore. Apparently, I don't know what that's about.
Marquise, get him. I saw Judy juke a corner so hard the Gatorade kid fell. He's an animal.
I think Judy's going to be a stud. I told you I'll take any of the 3. I just think that Ruggs is going to have a better career. That's all.
Gatorade guy, Gavin Cower. What's up, guys? What's up, Gavin?
What's up, Gav?
What up, Gav?
Sweeps chimes in via the text line.
Uncle Sweeps doesn't know how to use fucking technology.
Yeah, no, it's right here. He can be right there in front of you, right down there. Well, not down there, but over there. He'll be right there if he wanted to.
He says Bird signed Alshon to trade him to the Jags for the 9th pick with a million laughing faces and like a cover in the face.
Yeah,
that's probably because that's what Bill's saying. Probably. Oh, here's Chrome. Let's see what he has to say.
I don't know if he's never right, but he's been off all day. Sounds like Sammy Watkins coming to save the day. Did I once say that in the group message? Pro Bowler Sammy Watkins? Did I once crown Sammy Watkins? Or did I say if he came here right now, not knowing Alshon's health, would he be the one? Yes or no? I mean, I'm asking for a friend because maybe I don't know.
No, I mean,
there's another receiver that I don't know about here. Maybe there's a guy that's missing that
He'd probably be the most talented on our roster.
Yes. We talked about it the other day to where Sammy Watkins, to me, I'm not a Sammy Watkins fan at all. But with that being said,
that's a lie.
What?
No, just keep going, Brodo.
Oh, okay. I'm not a Sammy Watkins fan at all. But with that being said, if he comes here today, he's at least the second best receiver on roster.
Probably most talented. And you could say Deshaun's more talented, but Deshaun's over, what is he, 33 now? And he's always hurt. So
his over-under on playing games is like 12.
12? I was going to say 9.
That's fair.
Levi said, do you think a reason for bringing Alshon back was to help develop receivers we draft? Yeah. Well, not like for him to help develop it, but for guys to have time to develop. I think it's a part of it. because they don't trust themselves to nail somebody who's going to be a day one impact guy.
Plus, but Tom, even guys that are great though, you're right. Even guys that are great never have great rookie years. Like look at the history. I mean, there's some that have been amazing, but really, Calvin Johnson, incredible receiver, didn't have 1,000 yards his rookie year. Randy Moss, he was one of the exceptions. Terrell Owens didn't have 1,000 yards his rookie year. Like a ton of guys didn't have 1,000 yards as a rookie. It takes them a little time sometimes, you know. Like Anquan Bolden and Randy Moss, the only two I can think of that were fucking phenomenal as rookies.
No, it takes time. That's why you do.
Time.
That's why you do this. Wayne Miller, what's up, guys? Wayne from Colorado saying, "Hey, love the show."
What's up, Wayne? Colorado, smoke up.
Tristan Russo, what's up, fam? What's up, Tristan?
What up, Tristan?
What's up, Tristan?
Bill must have known he got paid. Somebody paged Bill.
He came in.
Alshon to the Jags. Wake up! I said trade scenarios on every show.
You did have Alshon to the Jags. I saw the trade scenario. Alshon was involved,
and one was Alshon to the Jags. Did you delete?
He was definitely involved.
The
thing is, the Jags. Did you delete Bill? The Jags would like. Why would they trade us the 9th pick when they just want to gather more picks? They're not going to do that. That's what I don't understand. Like, trade him Alshon, and why the fuck would they want Alshon? Why the fuck would they want anybody? Trade him Derek Barnett. Why the fuck would they want Derek Barnett?
Exactly.
Why the fuck would they want him? They don't want him. They want more picks.
Yeah, that's
the only way you can get up to 9 is if you give them their first this year, or first next year, and maybe a second.
But that wasn't the trade scenario that makes sense. The one that makes sense with them would be giving up picks to go get Yannick and go get Chark from them. That's the only thing that would make sense for them, because now they're acquiring picks out of it. They're acquiring first. They're acquiring other assets in their eyes. That's the only thing that would make sense for them. The only team that makes sense to trade out, right, in the top 10 for me are the Arizona Cardinals, because they just gave up stuff. So they'd be probably willing to acquire that stuff back, okay? And they're not in the run for a wide receiver, essentially. So they're the one team to me that would be willing to say, hey, you want 8? 8's available. Now, you're not going to get up there for 8. Nothing simple. You're going to have to get stuff up. You're going to have, obviously 21. You're going to obviously have a second, probably a fourth, probably maybe even another first. So it's not going to be easy to get up there, but it's doable. It's how in are you that your guy's going to be there at 8 too. Because, I think teams in the top 5 are making a huge mistake over Jerry Jeudy not going top 5. That's my opinion. I think teams are going to miss because they're going to go D lineman, they're going to go other spots, and they're going to miss on a guy who is top 5 talent. So does he even get to 8? For instance, Jeudy. Does Jeudy even get to 8? That's the thing. I know we're going to say, well, it doesn't make sense for this team. Listen, this guy's so talented, he makes sense for a lot of teams. So it's how far does he fall if you're like me and you're a Jeudy guy. And Marquis says, Michael Thomas, greatest rookie ever. They had maybe 1,400, 9 TDs. Yeah.
Did he have that as a rookie? I don't even remember. That's when New Orleans wasn't good, right?
1405 is rookie year.
New Orleans stunk that year? Sometimes it's tougher to be a really good rookie on a better team as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then on top of, obviously the Jeudy stuff, Tom, the other day we were discussing that the more and more this comes out, obviously, and we went through the whole draft order last week, so we don't have to do that again, obviously. But, all the Jefferson people, forget about the top 3, who I'll take. I think any of us will take the top 3 in any order. It's seeming like more and more as the days go on, the Jefferson people, I don't think he's going to be there any close to 21. You're going to have to probably trade up just for Jefferson alone.
I think Jefferson will be there.
Do you really?
I think that receivers are actually. I think that the top 3 are going to all go right around 10 to 15, because I agree with Tom that a couple of them could be talented enough to go in the top 10. But this year, there's a lot of good D linemen and there's a lot of good quarterbacks. Apparently, I'm not sure how sold I am, but the GMs are. And let's just face it: D line, O line, QBs, they go early in drafts. They just do.
And they do, but I just find it
I think Tua, Burrow, and Herbert, however the fuck you ever say his name, are all going to go top 10.
Yeah,
so that's 3 spots. Then you go Simmons, linebacker from Clemson. He's fucking phenomenal. He's going, and the DN from Ohio State, Chase Young's going. So then there's what they only got 3 spots left.
Yeah, I just find it hard to believe, Wills, that the top receiver in the draft falls outside the top 10.
I hear you. And the top corner is probably going to go like 8. Okuda probably going to go like 8. So it's tough. I mean, it's tough to fit him in. But if somebody really wants him, I agree. I still think that Ruggs is going to have a better career.
And then too, if somebody takes a receiver, or let's say 2 receivers in the top 10, that's, in my opinion, that's going to cause other teams to panic.
Right.
Where maybe they're going to move up. Like, for example, just, from, 11, you have the Jets. They're absolutely taking one. Vegas could at 12. The 49ers, all the rumors have said they've been linked to Jerry Jeudy, to where, they're obviously looking at somebody. You have Denver at 15. So you're looking at, 4 out of 5 teams from 11 to 15 that you would say that wide receivers at the top, at least, of their mock draft. So where that would be the number 1 position of need. That's not even including, obviously, you can look at the teams inside of the top 10.
Yeah,
I agree. That's where I think they're all going to go, Brito. All 3 of them go between 9 and 15, say.
Mm-hmm. And then you're looking at, for example,
Bill's still whining, by the way. I see that. Sorry.
Is he?
Bill, they're not going to – our first, next year's first, and 2 fourths does not get us to 9. Sorry to tell you. It doesn't get us there.
Mm-mm.
Maybe our first this year, our first next year, and the 3rd or a 2nd might get us there. 2 fourths ain't moving the needle.
Especially because there's going to be a ton of teams.
Who the fuck's looking at 2 fourths? Like, 2 fourths.
Exactly.
Fuck.
And plus, there's going to be a ton of teams that are going to be trying to move up. There's going to be a ton of movement in this draft. And I'm just talking for receiver. I'm not even including, like we talked about, quarterback, because like they have guys like friggin', what was he? Jordan Love, is that his name? Like they have him going in the top 10, somebody coming out of nowhere and drafting him.
Yeah. I think he's going to go first round. I don't know if he goes top 10. If he goes top 10, then the receivers might really fall, because then there's going to be a ton of guys getting pushed.
Mm-hmm.
If you get 4 QBs top 10, a ton of guys are getting pushed down.
Well, then you have, for example, Dallas at 17. They're taking a receiver because they don't trust Gallup. The Dolphins could, the Raiders pick again, and then the Jaguars before us. So I'm telling you. And
I don't know that Dallas is taking a receiver for sure. They just had a big blow losing their center, and I mean they have Amari and Gallup.
They don't like Gallup though, but I could see them also taking a corner. Corner is a good, a good position too.
No Byron Jones, big loss there.
Yeah.
So
I would say it's very minimal that Dallas takes a receiver in the first.
I hope.
Now, if one of those 3 are still there, then fuck, you never know. Anybody could take them.
Yeah.
Anybody, just because they're like Tom said earlier, this is the best player on the board available. We're taking them.
True.
Yeah, a lot of teams look at their drafts like that. Marquis says, if we don't trade up, mark my words, receiver's going to fly, and we'll have to draft Mims or Higgins.
So let's move the fuck up.
I think if it gets to that,
I want to move up.
I can just see Howie trading back. I really can.
If it gets all them guys off the board, Jake.
No, I hear you, Jake. Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? If all them guys are off the board, you probably just trade back?
Well, because like Rye was saying earlier, and like Marcus is saying, once like you start seeing all these wide receivers start to go, especially the top 3, I can definitely see teams trading up for Justin Jefferson, maybe even Denzel Mims potentially, just because he's that prototype wide receiver. I'm not saying he's like a Julio Jones or something like that, but just that size, speed in his hands. The teams are going to be looking at that as well. So I can just see teams just not only us getting in conversations with trading up, but just like a bunch of teams around the league trying to jumble at one of these potential top 3, even top 5 receivers in the draft.
No, I agree. Because teams panic. Don't want to jump up there, and this is where Howie, trades back, and we're all flipping the hell out.
Right.
I mean, it depends how far they trade back and what they get. I would be upset, but if those top 3 guys are gone, and say the top defensive guys that you like are gone, you trade back and you can add maybe another second. Let's say, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Then maybe you go 2 receivers in a second. You take 2 guys off that next tier because, like we said, there's about 8 or 9 guys that are borderline first, second round picks. So maybe you take 2 guys in that next tier, and you hope that one of them pans out to be a very good player. And, those guys we're talking like Mims, Rager, Hamler, Chenault, Ayuk, or however the fuck you say his name.
I think it is.
Ayuk, yeah. So those guys. And all those guys are talented.
Mm-hmm.
Very talented. We just happen to have a core 3 guys that are uber talented.
Yeah.
But the next group is right there. A lot of good players. Higgins, another one I didn't mention is Higgins.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
I still like the top 3 way more than I like any of them. But I still think that they could come in and they could be impactful.
And plus, like with Higgins, for example, if we keep Alshon, isn't he another like JJ Arcega-Whiteside type guy? You know what I'm saying?
I would say he's more of an Alshon type guy, really.
Oh, okay.
Coming out. That's kind of like how Alshon came out of South Carolina. Kind of the same kind of guy. Really good production in college, not the fastest guy. Still got deep on some people, though, and Alshon's had a great career. I mean, if you're T. Higgins, you'd love to have the career that Alshon's had.
Absolutely. So, I mean, if you can get T. Higgins in the second or something, I'd be fine with it. But if that's your first receiver taken off the board, you know what I mean? I don't know.
I feel like the 4 that are definitely going to go first round are the top 3 that we've always talked about and Justin Jefferson.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then after that, it gets cloudy. I feel like there's a lot of guys that you can mix in there. There's like 6 guys that can go fifth between all them guys we just mentioned: Higgins, Chenault, Ayuk, depending who you like, Hamler. All of them are talented.
Yeah,
I would actually throw Mims in there because he's
another one. Mims, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's absolutely going in the first because he's been talked about a lot over the last. It's almost like his name didn't come out of nowhere, for example, but he's now starting to rise a little bit on a lot of team stocks.
Let me see. Yeah, no, he's been rising up, and this is what's going to happen too. And then teams that feel like they're going to lose out on some of these wide receivers might reach in the first round. So even though no more than 4 should go in the first round, right? I can still see 5 going. That extra one. I'm not going to say 6.
6 could be 6. Yeah,
could be, but I just feel like that's too many. But I can see it because teams feel like they're not going to get that guy in the second. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And I know Derek Walters saying how he needs to get it right in this draft, and he does. And to me, getting it right and the easy way to get it right is just to go up and get your guy. Mm-hmm. But that's not usually his MO when it comes to the wide receiver position. But it's been his MO when it comes to positions of need in terms of he did it with Carson. He's done it before at times. So if he really likes a guy, he's been known to go up for him if he loves a guy. So we'll see. But more so than not, he's usually the type of guy who would rather go back. That's sort of more his MO over the past, in my opinion.
Bill's not happy with you, Wilson, by the way.
Yeah, I was just reading that.
I don't care.
He said, Wilson, you just don't listen. Of course they take our first 2 4s and a future first.
They wouldn't.
And we need top 10. We will pick at 9.
Bill, we could pick at 9. It won't be for our first, next year's first, and 2 4ths. They wouldn't accept that. It's not enough. You have to trade them more. That's not enough. 2 4ths doesn't do anything. It's basically 2 firsts then. You're going to have to give them a third or a second as well.
Yeah.
Sure. 2 4ths. The fuck?
2 firsts, a second, and maybe the 4th.
Right.
Yeah, maybe that. There's no way it's 2 firsts and 2 4ths. No fucking way.
If that was the case, I'd do that all day.
Yeah, fucking sign me up.
Right.
They could call tomorrow. I'll send it. I'll drive the picks to them in the quarantine.
Yeah, right.
Levi wants to know if Chenault is available in the second round. Would you take him?
If he's there in the second, I'd definitely take him. But it's
at 53, at 53, yeah, possibly,
sure.
Yeah.
Just because he's that Swiss Army knife type of guy, you can line him up in the slot, outside, at running back. And that's what he did in college. But the big concern with him is injuries, and he got hurt.
I was going to say injury concerns.
So
he's dynamic, but he's got injury concerns.
Right.
Yeah, and Jake, I don't want a guy getting hurt to combine in shorts and a tee.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You can't get through that. How you get?
Everyone on our team gets hurt in pads, so we can't have a guy that gets hurt in shorts and a tee.
You might be the perfect fit then.
Right.
Enzo Amaro says, I think if we can get this receiver thing figured out, we can make a run again. I have no complaints on this defense this year, but knock on wood. Completely agree. We're right there.
We just got to stay healthy. We haven't been healthy for 3 years. Somehow we managed to get to the playoffs twice, or win a Super Bowl and get to the playoffs twice,
Right.
which is amazing because we haven't been healthy for 3 seasons. So at some point, this trend has to turn, and we got to stay healthy at some point.
What I think the most another underrated move by this football team is Roby Coleman. Nobody's going to talk a lot about it. It's a 1-year deal, but it's a guy who's got ball hawk ability. It's a guy who's a top 5 slot corner in football and upgrades his secondary big time. Now you went out and got Slay and Coleman, both guys who like the football in their hands. When you talk about your secondary and you talk about quarterback's best friend, well, getting off the field on third down is a big friend for your offense, and big plays defensively are big friends. Ball hawks are big friends for your offense. So a lot of that factors in. Yeah. Of course, my father's got to call 100 times a day.
Put that bitch on fucking silent, son.
It is on silent, son. Thanks. It's just
we all heard it.
Laptop connected to my laptop. Grow up one time. If you had a laptop, you would know that, and you wouldn't have the black borders.
I don't need a laptop.
You wouldn't be bordered.
I don't care. Don't care about the borders.
I'm just telling you, it wouldn't be.
Okay.
Wrong again.
How am I wrong? I don't have a laptop. How's that wrong?
You're wrong about why the phone rang like that. You're wrong about that.
We heard the fucking phone.
Because it's through the computer.
That's all I'm saying.
Through my phone. It's through the computer.
Well, throw it out the window.
Wills, by the way, you can turn the phone so it goes widescreen. By the way,
like
there
this.
You go.
Ah, look at that. Fancy dancy. I mean, I figured that, but it's tough holding the phone the whole time.
No, you're good. You're good.
And Tom, go fuck yourself, dude.
That's fine. Wayne Miller, didn't Hammer also get hurt in the combine? Tweak the hammy or something?
He came in with like a tweaked hammy or a hamstring in the combine.
Oh, he's our guy. We love the hamstring injuries in Philly. He's our guy.
Marquis says, with the 21st pick, the Philadelphia Eagles select even tackle Ross. What did he say? Blacklock? Wouldn't shock me at all.
We do love our D tackles.
I'll lose my mind. I'll lose my mind if that happens. I'm sure he's a good guy, good player, but receiver, please.
Chuck says something that shouldn't be overlooked. Eagles need to draft a safety.
No, we absolutely do.
Yeah, it's probably not going to be a high pick, though.
I like the kid from Alabama, which, like, if we're forced to take a defensive player at 21, I could do that.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would rather have Henderson because I know he can come in and start right away. There's a position for him, but, that would not make sense on why you even brought Jalen back for a year and why you brought McLeod back if you're going to go draft safety in the first round, because that guy should be able to come in and play right away. You know what I mean? So I have no problem with it, but it's just, I don't know how he plays day one. I just brought 2 guys back.
See that, Will?
No, I wouldn't, Bill. I'm not trading Zach Ertz. I love these guys that want to trade Zach Ertz. The guy that has the best fucking. We keep talking about how we want a young receiver that can build with Wentz. The guy that has the best chemistry with him is Zach Ertz. Mm-hmm. Why are we running this dude out? He's got 2 years left on his deal. Worry about this 2 years from fucking now. All right, Zach Ertz ain't gonna hold out. He's gonna play. So I'm not worried about any of this shit. I'm not trading Zach Ertz. I want Zach Ertz to be here catching fucking footballs.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Spill says border gate.
Yeah.
Levi actually likes shit. Might be the only guy who does.
Everyone likes me.
Could you see the Eagles taking Grant, Delpit?
I do like Delpit. That's a guy I do like.
Justin Pope, give me Duger in the 3rd round.
I don't think I know Duger.
I don't know much about him. I gotta check some tape.
Marquis says Rasul is the safety. Why can't anyone see that? No, agree with you there too.
I'm not sure he's even a player, but
yeah.
At least they moved one of the guys that we thought was a safety back to safety, and that's Mills.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
We're 50% of the way there. Now we just have to trade Rasul for a conditional 7th.
Rasul bothers me, but he seems he gets his hands on the ball a lot somehow. He gets burned a lot.
He's physical. He just is slow as hell. He's physical. He's just not very good at anything.
He fits in our secondary pretty well as being physical and slow as hell. We had a lot of that.
And getting burnt. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I can't catch.
I hear you. I wouldn't let that prevent me from drafting a stud safety. I'm just saying it wouldn't make sense now. Then why did I bring both back if I had intentions on going early in the draft and upgrading it? You know what I mean? Because bringing both back tells me that's not my first or second round agenda. You know what I mean? That's what bringing both back tell me. So we'll see. It wouldn't prevent me. It just wouldn't make sense. That's all. You know, but it's all, I guess, depends on what's there. Bill telling you he'll do that all day, Wills. That deal.
Why? Why do you want to trade Ertz so bad? I don't understand why you want to trade Zach Ertz so bad. That's all. Just tell us why, Bill. All right? I'm sure you're going to give us a terrible excuse as to why. Don't fucking tell me Dallas Goedert is why. Dallas Goedert's still going to play a ton. We run 2 tight ends all the day. All right? That's probably why they're not concerned about receiver as much, because they know we're going to have 2 tight ends on the field a lot.
Yep, that's their plan. Yep.
Gavin Cowell, Roby Coleman was like the 19th ranked cornerback last year. Great pickup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he has. It smells a little bit like when we picked up
Patrick
Robinson.
Patrick Robinson. There you go. And it smells a little bit like that. Great slot guy that we needed at the time, and he ends up being huge for us. So, I mean, cross your fingers. Hopefully, that can happen again.
Right.
Miles Smith, preach. I've been saying that too. They need to let him be more physical to open up his game. I guess he's talking about Rasul.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Pope. Zach is about to get extended before the end of the summer. He'll be in Philly for his whole career.
Absolutely.
Agreed,
that's
Justin.
Number one off season, except for the draft, obviously. That's their number one priority. Is extending Zach Ertz. It's not trading for Brandon Cooks. It's not trading for this. It's not. No, if there's going to be, like somebody said on Wednesday, they asked us, oh, what's the next blockbuster move the Eagles are going to make? And I said, the only blockbuster move I can see, and tell me if you guys agree with this, is them trading up in the draft. There's no, or maybe Yannick if like we can steal him or something. But it's literally assessing who's available wide receiver wise in the first and so on, and extending Zach Ertz. Other than that, we're kind of in like a standstill right now.
I agree.
No, we are. That's the only really big moves you could see. And but sometimes a big move comes out of nowhere. But the obvious ones, that's it. You know what I mean? The obvious ones. But Joe Moffett, what's the injury and durability report on the top 3 receivers in this draft?
They're all healthy.
Yeah, they're all good.
Yeah, and durability wise, they've all
been good in college. Yeah, they've been good.
Chucks, I hear you, Tommy, but I think they brought them back talking about Rodney and Jalen because they didn't want glaring needs going into the draft. It's the consequence of having free agents before the draft. But I see what you're saying. Yep. That's just the thing. Like 2 veterans aren't going to get sat down, even though I know one's going back to a position he used to play in college. I just don't see both getting, sat down for the 21st pick in the draft, being a safety, but again,
he's got to win the job. I mean,
yeah.
We always said we love competition. Competition brings the best out of everybody. Win a job. Like people that want Greg Ward to have a better spot on this team, win a job, Greg. That's what I say. Same thing about the Elijah Holyfield people. Win a job. I'm fine with bringing in competition. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with, whoever it is at 21 being the best player on the board, because I even said last night that if that's a running back, at 21, and it's a change of pace back to Miles.
J.K. Dobb? Dobb?
You know what I mean? Because I can be better in spots. I can lessen the blow on my back. So, I'm all up for it. I'm all up for that, though, like the best player on the board game. It's just so important to your football team. Marquise, that guy's option picked up today for next season, $8.5 million. Chuck,
two seasons from now, isn't it?
He becomes a free agent in 2022, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's $8 mil next, or $8 mil 2020, and then 8.5 for 2021. Mm-hmm. So I guess that's what he's saying, 2021. Yeah, but yeah, so 2 more seasons of Zach, at least etched in stone currently, and they're going to probably work on an extension, like we were saying.
Yep.
Chalks, Pete Evans is going to be so upset if and when Ertz gets extended. Matt Bills, here's why. I think it's a big mistake to keep him past 2021. He'll be 31 or 32, looking to make the most money at the tight end position, while we will have to re-sign Goddard too. I don't think both can happen. Thoughts? I think it's very fair.
Yeah.
It's very fair.
That's fair, but I'm not wrong. I won't even address that till a year from now. That's why I wouldn't even sign him yet. I'll worry about that a year from now.
Yeah.
Yep. We were kind of talking about, I know Tuesdays they've been talking about it, that all this trade talk for Ertz, it's a year too early. It's a year too early. Like right now, now's not the time, especially when you talk about going into an offseason, or in the middle of an offseason, obviously, to where there's so much turnover, at least projected turnover on the offense. And we're talking about keeping chemistry with Wentz, not taking anything away. Obviously, the guy at the top of that list is Ertz. It's Ertz. So while we're taking so many things away, the one position that we know there is no turnover and we're confident in is tight end. So why would we eliminate something from that if we don't have to?
True.
Right.
Very true. And that he might not be the happiest if we backburnered extension talks until next offseason. He might not be very happy about that, but he's not going to hold out. Okay, he's going to play, and he's going to play well. He is our best option offensively. I would say it's him and Miles Sanders, our two best options. Even if we went and got a receiver in the first round, it's still going to be the most dependable guys on the roster. It's going to be him and Miles Sanders.
True.
Yeah, it's early. Unless a deal came across the table that blew me away, it's early. Right. It's a year early. But again, I answer my phone for everybody. Because
of course, yeah. Phone's on. We heard it. Phone's on.
So I mean, if you're trying to back up Brink picks to me, then I gotta be able to understand if this is too much to pass up. You know what I mean? If this is too good to pass up as an organization too. But I don't think that deals came across the table yet. Obviously, because Zach Ertz is still here. But I don't think they're actively shopping him either. You know what I mean? I don't think so at all.
Yeah, I mean, you can get blown away by somebody, but they're definitely not shopping him.
Yeah, I don't think they're out there aggressively shopping him. I think it becomes beat reporters that want to put it out there because they know, hey, it's coming up. They got to decide if they're going to pay him or not. You know what I mean? So now beat reporters want to throw it on out there to see if it sticks.
We're going to go for a walk.
Oh. Joe Moffett, never know what teams have injuries in training camp for key positions that we could trade a player for a stud wide receiver. Wouldn't bank on that strategy, though. And Chuck says, Wayne Pete, he's the one that traded Ertz and Flash.
Couple brews.
Yeah.
What are we going with today, Wills?
Just a couple Bud Lights. I don't want Tom crucifying me.
No. Marquise, people trying to trade Ertz. And we don't have a reliable receiver. Laugh my ass off. Suicide mission. Yeah, I mean, it is a suicide mission, really. Now you're going to get worse at a position. You're going to have to pay a guy soon.
We're literally staring a wide receiver position in the face, where you're looking at Deshaun, who's playing like 10 games a year, if we're lucky. Alshon, who, if he is on the team, we don't know what he is, what we're getting out of that. Greg Ward. The 4-game wonder, and JJ Arcega blindside. So we want to take Ertz away? So we're throwing to who? Are we throwing to Howie Roseman? Is he going to be a receiver? Is he going to be the next tight end? Doesn't make sense to me.
Now, here's a question I have for everybody and for the viewers. I'd like to post. What are we expecting to get from J-Jaw this upcoming season?
What are we expecting or what do we need?
No, what are we expecting?
2 touchdowns.
Catches, yards, TDs. Hit me with it.
Go ahead, Jake. You go first.
I know Aaron Moorhead's been like the new Eagles wide receivers coach. He's been real high on him so far. And I think just having a new face in there helps a lot. And I know a lot of people around the league are real high on Aaron Moorhead. So I think just having a new face in there helps him a lot. Shot in the dark, I'll say 500 yards, 4 touchdowns his second year. Obviously, that's night and day compared to what it was last year.
I would take that. Yes,
I'll take it all day.
Yeah, I was gonna go 303. To be honest, so I'll take yours all day, Jake.
Yeah,
303 is not a good year.
No,
so I'll go I'll go the opposite here because obviously the fan base, everybody's done with them after 1 year.
Right.
We spent time on shows, plenty of time on shows, saying, well, wide receivers sometimes don't make an impact year one.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Some you have to wait on. Some of the development takes a second or two. Not saying he's going to be a stud. I think we don't know, right? So it's easy to go on the side. Well, he's not going to get any better. He's not going to get any better. I'm gonna go on the side of some hope and say that he is going to get better and he is going to progress. And it's easy to progress from nothing, but he's going to progress. And to me, I'm gonna go 40 catches, 600 yards, 6 touchdowns.
Let's go.
Wow. All right, Tommy.
Crazy, not crazy.
I mean, that's a good year.
That's not crazy though. That's just
we didn't have a receiver on the roster that had that year this past year.
Well, this is why I think that
just an FYI.
When the guy was projected to go in that area too. So let's not act like it was a reach pick either. I mean, it wasn't a reach pick. That's right around where he was supposed to go. So a guy who had tons of college success, ran in the Pac-12, but tons of college success, maybe he can figure it out. You know, maybe 1 year, and Doug talks about how hard this offense is. So maybe the jump was too big for him, too fast.
Well, also the thing is too, a lot of people
early on. Go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, no, you're good. A lot of things that people just forget to mention too. The Eagles were training him at like 6 different positions on offense, like just the X, the Y, the whatever have you, a wide receiver. So I think obviously learning a new playbook, an NFL style playbook for someone in their rookie years a lot, and also just being trained at different positions at wide receivers a lot. So I think once coming into his second year, he'll hopefully put most of it together.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that definitely factors in. You know, when we talk about the Phillies, we talk about Kingery playing all over the damn place, right? And that doesn't help you. So when you're a rookie, it's not going to help you playing the X, the Y, the Z, the B, the D, the E. You know what I mean? Right. It's not going to help you. So to me, when year 2, the game always slows down for a lot of guys too. So I think the game's going to slow down. Mm-hmm. What it takes to be a pro slows down. All the things that come into play. Now, it's not an excuse because there's a lot of guys year 1 that are productive. Mm-hmm. But just because you're not doesn't mean your career's over. And doesn't mean you can't make a jump. This is where we're going to find out. Sophomore year, is there a pulse? Right? And a pulse to me is
Show me a pulse, JJ.
40 grabs, over 500, 600 yards, and 6 TDs. That's a pulse.
I'd be happy with 35, 450, and 4.
Yeah, right.
I would. I'd be happy with if he caught 35 balls for 450 yards and 4 touchdowns. I'd be happy, and he can maintain having a spot on this team moving forward.
Well, I think he's going.
If he gives me less than that, I'm ready to fucking get rid of him.
Well, then it's over. But I think with what you're watching right now unfold, I think as an organization, and it's how he does with his own. I get this, that they believe in him. So somebody down there believes him too, because they didn't go out and run for any of these veteran wide receivers. They didn't go out there and run for any of them. You know, I know they're in trade talks for younger star type guys, but they weren't in a rush for these other guys because I think that they believe enough in him. Mm-hmm. Where, hey, if he's our third or fourth, he's just going to get a little bit better. And I think if he is your third, hypothetically, I think that's where he can have that 40, 45 catch production at, because it's not a ton of pressure on him either. Where at times last year, it's like, you got to go be the 1 or 2. We got nobody out there.
And I will say to your guys' point that, you know, I would say the knock on him last season wasn't that he was dropping a ton of balls or anything. He just looked lost. Mm-hmm. So that could go right into the whole thing of, okay, he didn't understand the playbook. He was kind of shell shocked. He was asked to do too much because he had a high IQ in college, obviously. So they put a lot on him. And it was maybe you could say, and I'm not trying to make excuses. Listen, I'm the guy 5 seconds.
High IQ in quotations there, though.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I mean, because I say high IQ in college, but that doesn't always equate to obviously the high IQ in the NFL, as we saw last year. And I get it was only 1 year. and I'm not trying to, give excuses for the guy because I said 5 seconds ago that I think he's more likely to go for 3 touchdowns at 300, which is not good at all.
Mhm.
But if he does get more comfortable, which, like you said, Tom, you can only go up from where he was last year, then yeah, absolutely. And maybe if he goes from, oh, you're going to be our number 2, maybe you go from that to, maybe 3 or 4, and then you're now entering year 2. It's not preposterous to say that he's going to be a legitimate NFL player next year.
No, it's not. I mean, he was drafted in the second round for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
You want to put some hope into this GM actually getting one right. So yeah, it's easier. I get it. It's easier to go the other way. He's not going to be good, right? But to me, and a lot of people thought this before the year started, that from watching some tape on him and watching what they saw, like, this guy's got an upside. This guy was a touchdown machine in college. So this guy found the end zone a lot. So part of me thinks that he's going to still grow into what they thought he could be, which was a touchdown machine. They thought in the red zone, we thought as a whole in the red zone last year that we were going to be lethal.
Right.
Lethal. Everybody on A2D Airways, and ain't nobody can run from this, including myself. But we were going to light lamps, that we were going to put up 30 a game. Who the F you stopping? Right? I mean, our chests were so damn out.
Lamp lighting.
It wasn't even now our bellies were out because we're home so much. But before, our chests were out. And we were Puff City, okay? And what happened is injuries affected that because week 1, we were lighting lamps when we got going. Week 1, once we figured it out against Washington, we were like, woo! They saw that offense come alive, right? But after that, everybody was hurt. So, I mean, our chest pumping went away fast. But Bill's another – I mean, Bill said here 12 touchdowns.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's people out there that thought this guy could flat out play.
He might have said 9, but he definitely said a lot.
But whatever. But my point is that he might not be wrong long term. Like, his idea how good he thought he was going to be might not be wrong long term.
Mm-hmm.
So in 2 years from now, that might be right. He might be a 9, 10 touchdown guy because that's what he was in college. So a lot of it is, like Jake said, like Ryan said, like you said, Wills was just, and like I talked about when everything slows down for guys.
Bill's a big DJ Chark guy now, too, apparently.
Bill,
big DJ Chark
Bill,
guy. Listen, DJ
like
Chark's
Chark.
another guy you got to show me more, though. He 1 year. 1 year don't sell me on nobody in this league. Ton of guys have had one good year.
And Bill, I literally brought up the Chark deal last week, Bill. So there's no question. We all like Chark. Nobody's saying like, oh, we don't want Chark. We literally talked for an hour about the possibility of getting Chark last week.
Right. I said I would give up for Chark and Yannick. I would give up 3 firsts and a third.
Yes.
Right now. Where do I sign up? 3
I'll
firsts.
do that in 2 seconds.
3 firsts and a third for Yannick and Chark right now.
I do have a.
That's a lot.
I do have a.
But
Yeah, go ahead.
guarantees me that I landed 2 out of 3 first-round picks. That's what it guarantees me. So I can look back and say, well, I traded 3 firsts, but I got these 2 in return, both under the age of 24, both proven they can play in this league. So I hit 2 first-round picks on proven talent right now. Mm-hmm. If Chark's catching 1,000 with Gardner Minshew, I'm sure him and Carson can come together. And we already know what Yannick is. So we don't even need to have that conversation because that's a game changer on the defense side of football. So am I rushing to do that deal? No, but I would do it. I would definitely do it. Mm-hmm. I'd rather go get Judy, but that's besides the point. We don't have time for that. We don't have time for that.
You're double dipping with that trade. You're making your D line one of the greatest D lines in the league, if not the best D line in the league. If you add Yannick to what we already have,
them and Baltimore.
Say that again.
Them and the Ravens.
Yeah, true. And then on top of that, you're adding DJ Chark, who's your young guy who you can develop, obviously, to with Carson, like they're saying they want to do, alongside of Alshon, Deshaun, JJ, and Ward, and then anybody else that you take in the draft. That's a really good situation to have.
It absolutely is.
And plus, you don't have to wait for Howie to draft somebody that can't play.
No,
you already get 2 guys that you already know can play.
It covers it up for him. It covers the inability to draft one well. It covers it up for him, right? Mm-hmm. But again, back to J-Jaw, and I know, like I said, I know people.
I'm not sold on DJ Chark.
No, I'm not. Well, I'm not crowning them. I'm more giving them picks away because of what Yannick is, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, he's a stud, yeah.
And I'm gonna have to sign him anyway, so I'm gonna have to create cap space somewhere to sign him, and that's giving away 3 firsts. because now I open that money up to be able to use for him. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it. And then Chark's still a few years away from even having to do his deal. So I still got time on him. So I own one for a minute, and the other one I got to get his deal done, and he's worth 3 firsts. Now, would I give up 3 firsts just for Yannick? No. So that's why I need a wideout. So it makes sense. But back to J-Jaw. I really, truly believe, though, that we all weren't wrong early on. I really, truly believe the guys, Wells, I know we're degenerates, that watch Pac-12 football. The guy can play. So
caught a lot of TDs.
So I still think he can get back to that point. So I'm gonna go with he has a solid year 2 and makes a big jump where we're now like, well, Howie might have got one right. Might have. Not did. Might have. I think he makes that kind of jump. Not where we're crowning and we're all good on Howie now, but he makes a good enough jump where it's like, oh, okay, we got one. We got one, folks. Yeah. Like a Sydney. Like we saw a little pulse from Sydney at the end of last year. I think we see that pulse from J-Jaw all year. We see the pulse. And Sydney's going to have a pulse too, Brian. All right? My kid's going to have a pulse.
I don't know. Just the fact he's your kid doesn't help him.
I just called him my kid right there. He's not really.
I know. I saw.
I just did that on purpose.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing, Tom.
You're not confident in him on the outside with Coleman and Joe?
No. Someone asked if we had the best secondary in the NFC East. I can't say that at this moment because right now we have 2 question marks. Because I don't know what Jalen Mills is as a safety, and I'm not sold on anyone besides Darius Slay at starting corner.
You good?
I'm fine. Are you good? What the fuck have you seen that you're good? That you're good?
I'll tell you. The crack of the beer is obviously an issue for you.
No, it's not.
We might have to wrap this up. Okay?
I'm fine.
Are you? Because what I just watched you say and have to listen and go through.
What have you seen? What have you seen from Sidney Jones and or any other corner on this team that's not Darius Slay and Jalen Mills playing safety? You haven't seen. None of us have seen.
That's where you lost your credibility. If you wanted to say outside of, and now you're bringing Jalen into the corner. So you talking about secondary or you talking about corner? First of all, let me answer that question.
Well, Jalen's playing safety, I thought.
Yeah. So are you talking the whole secondary or are you just talking corner?
I said 2 of our 4 starting spots is what I said. I'm talking whole secondary.
No, because
the question was 5 guys. The question was
5 guys in the secondary.
Do we have the best secondary in the NFC East?
In 1990, there's 5 guys in the secondary.
That's fine. I'm saying for just looking at 2 starting corners outside and the 2 starting safeties. I'm not talking about our slot corner, which is Bradley Nickel Roby.
You're not even going to talk about one of the biggest needs in all football. Everybody needs a slot guy.
We just signed our slot corner.
Everybody needs a slot guy cover, and you're just going to cancel it out like it didn't happen? Like we didn't just
You're changing the question because you know you're fucking wrong. Again, this is what you do. These young guys don't know what you do yet. I know what you do. Okay?
I know what you do.
You change the question when you know you're wrong. I'm not talking about Roby in the nickel. He's there. I'm talking about the 2 outside corner spots, which one's Darius Slay, and I'm talking about our 2 safety positions, which one is who the fuck did we just sign?
It's Roddy McLeod.
Gerald McLeod. So now Jalen Mills, what's he going to give us at safety? I can't say. I think that I'm intrigued, but I can't tell you that he's going to be good. I don't know. And then what are we going to get? Who's going to start other outside corner? You think Sidney? He hasn't shown me much.
Did he show you a pulse in 2 big spots last year?
Maybe a bit of a pulse.
That's a pulse, Brian. Let me ask you a question: was he thrown into them spots, or did he start them games?
He was thrown in.
Okay, so listen, it's easy to quit. It's easier to quit than dust yourself off. It's easier to quit than dust. It's easier. Okay, it's so
in
easy.
2.5 years, he's had 1 pulse.
The first year don't count.
They would call him dead at this point.
Oh, 2.5 year me when year 1 he wasn't even allowed to step on the field. So don't 2.5 year me.
So 1.5 years he's had 1 pulse.
2 pulses.
2 pulses.
2 pulses. Let's confirm how many pulses. Not a lot.
2.
We're talking about 2. All I'm saying is I'm not going to hang my hat and be like, oh, Sidney. No. All I'm going to say is.
Does he even beat Maddox out?
I don't know that. I think Maddox is a better slot guy. That's just me. But I think he does. I truly think he does. And I keep running back to what Brandon Graham says about him, and I keep running it back to it's easier to quit than dust yourself off and make plays. That could be a turning point. I'm not going to be like, have all this hope it's going to be a turning point, but that could be the turning point. With having Slay and Coleman, I now am comfortable and going into the year thinking, okay, Sidney's going to be that other guy. I can be okay with it is all I'm saying. If he doesn't get it done, that's where Avonte comes in as maybe your other outside guy, and maybe you don't get rid of Rasul. You know what I mean? If he doesn't get it done. So,
and Marcus' comment is exactly what I'm saying. I totally agree. Slay, McLeod, Roby Coleman. I'm fine with all three. The other two, I don't. That's where I'm up in the air with. I'm up in the air with. I hope Jalen plays good as a safety.
I'm not up in the air with Jalen. Jalen to me.
You're not up in the air with Jalen.
No, a former safety.
I don't know. You haven't watched football for the last 2 fucking years, then.
What?
You haven't watched football for the last 2 years if you're not up in the air with Jalen.
Brian, this is a change of position, Brian. This isn't
okay. So now you think he's going to be better changing positions?
Yeah, I think
position he hasn't played in years. He'll be good at it. He'll be great. I'm sure he'll be great.
Everything's in front of you, Brian. Okay, everything's in front of you.
I'm sure he'll be great.
This was an educated decision out of Howie Roseman. Because now Rodney can play the box more, okay? And Jalen.
Was it an educated decision or was it a last straw tactic? Was it a last straw move or an educated decision? That's what I want to know. Was it, hey, this is our last chance to get something out of fucking Jalen Mills, or was it an educated move?
They didn't have to bring him back. Was
it or wasn't it?
Did they have to bring him back, Brian?
Well, it's a 1-year deal, Tom. I don't give a fuck about bringing him back for 1 year. If he don't work out safety, he won't be here next year. Correct? Correct?
Who's
correct?
Hold on.
Oh, I'm holding. You sound like you're in a fish tank, but I'm holding.
You're so wrong again.
I'm never wrong.
How many times did we get beat over the top last year?
A lot.
Thank you. You're going to tie right in my point.
Jalen Mills. A lot.
Malcolm played a ton in the box last year, which put Rodney, who is not a great cover guy. We know this. Rodney's great at a great tackler, and he'll knock your damn head off, and he's great in the run game.
So is Jalen a great cover guy now?
I think back there he's going to be way better. Everything's in front of you.
Glad that you think that.
Everything's in front of you now. Okay?
Everything's in front of you until the guy steams fucking past you like everyone does, Jalen.
Okay, does it help having a number one corner who follows the other team's number one? Does it help him back there? Yes or no?
I agree, yes.
Okay, so my point is having.
I'm just playing devil's advocate here. I hope he plays great. I hope he plays great.
So am I. Me too. So am I. Does Coleman help?
Well, you're a believer. He's like a stepson. He's a stepson.
Help you. Does Coleman help these guys out too? A guy who goes one-on-one.
Maybe. Hopefully he won't get fucking PI calls on him, and then we love him. He hits everybody early. We're fine with that.
Let me ask you guys this, because I do wonder if this had any, part of it or factor. If they do you think them not bringing back Malcolm and not being able to get a deal going, or at least kind of a compromise, if they bring back Malcolm, do you think they're still doing this with Jalen?
No.
I agree. Now
Tom, he wouldn't be on the team, I don't think. Now, I also agree that I was okay with Malcolm leaving. I appreciate everything Malcolm did here. He was great here. He has declined. His play has declined. That's just fact. I think we're going to miss him more in the locker room and as a leader than we are on the field.
I'm good.
And Tom, that isn't to say that, I'm not trying to say that there was a panic move moving Jalen Mills to safety, because we've been preaching for a while that Jalen Mills I'm confident that Jalen Mills is going to be a much better safety than he is cornerback, regardless of how many years it's been since he's played it. Because at the end of the day, that was his original position.
Well, he stinks at corner, so I'd hope so.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, we have to remember too, he done the last 2 years, obviously, but he was a starting cornerback in the Super Bowl.
No, I agree. I agree that. I'll give him that. But the last 2 years, he's stumped at corner.
You want to know the main reason Jalen Mills is back? Bigger than all this other conversation?
Yeah, he's going to be the leader in the locker room now. But he has to win the job, though. He has to win the job.
Yeah, listen, he's going to be one of the leaders. That's why he's brought back.
I would agree that I agree that. But to me, he's got to win the job. You got to win the job.
I hear you. He's one of the energy effort leaders. I told everybody the second Malcolm Jenkins walked away that he wasn't
I said the same thing. I'm with you.
He wasn't the main leader on this defense. That's Brandon Graham. Brandon Graham. It's been Brandon Graham. It's been Brandon Graham. Trust me. I'm not saying Malcolm's out of law.
D-line and secondary is different, though, but I agree. He's our leader on our D-line.
But you tie right into it then. Because Rodney's a leader. Rodney's been a leader of this defense. People talk about when Rodney has his best games, his defense plays their best football. Okay, that's well documented. All right? Jalen, leader. Right? Darius Slay comes in, becomes a leader automatically because he has a track record. Right? Roby Coleman comes in, becomes essentially a backfield leader because he has a track record. So it's easier to be a leader when you have a track record. So all I'm saying is, on all levels outside of linebacker, there's track records of leadership. There's guys with proven talent. There's guys who won Super Bowls, right? So when you're two back-end guys, regardless if one hasn't played there in a while, are Super Bowl champions, right? It easily allows them guys to be a leader. You know what I mean? It's easy because guys are going to listen to every word they say because they want to get there. They want to know what it takes to win it all. So I'm not saying that Jalen's going to be great back there and he's an all-pro guy. We don't know this yet. I'm just saying that we got so much better. Like we're not even talking about like LeBlanc is the guy, but we went through this whole conversation with barely bringing up Avante and barely bringing up LeBlanc. That's good news. That's good news. That's great news.
Listen, we're definitely deeper.
That means we're creating actual real competition like we talked about earlier, Will.
Agree. And for the strict fact that we've been just mangled with injuries for the last 3 seasons. And like I said, I feel like at some point that has to turn and go in our favor. But it's never bad to be deep because there's guys are going to get hurt. It's the NFL. It's 100% injury rate. Guys get hurt.
And to Marquez's comment, too, I was just going to say that greater than everything, this means with the moves we've made at cornerback or just in the secondary alone, it means we don't have to bring back Ronald Darby back again. We can be done with it. Which I'm happy with.
You would hope so.
Yeah.
Ronald Darby, another guy that stinks.
And can't stay healthy. 8, 11, and 12 games played the last 3 seasons.
Yep.
Nick Giordano says, put Rodney down in the jungle, let him hit, and we'll see if Mills can make some plays. And he's right. He's 100% right because I think we all know this. I know Chuck doesn't really listen to me when I say it. I understand his critiques. No. I understand his critiques of Rodney, but like I'm a Rodney guy. He's not. Like I think Rodney's way better than people think he is. I think 2017 McLeod. Sorry, McLeod. I got Rodney, Ronald. We're good, okay. But McLeod, I think 2017 Rodney McLeod is the Rodney McLeod that we signed from the Rams at that time. That's the guy we expected. That's the guy who hit everything that moved. All right, Rodney McLeod. What?
There was like a knock on the door or something.
Not here.
You're good. Continue.
No knock here.
All right. I heard it in my head.
Oh, you always didn't come from me. 2 other guys on the screen. 2 other guys.
We all looked. We all made a look.
Oh, the guy who smelled it usually dealt it. So who's knocking on your 3 doors? I didn't even hear a damn knock. It means nobody's at my door.
You're fine. Proceed. Proceed, sir. Proceed.
All I'm saying is the Rodney McLeod that we had in 2017, all right, is more of the Rodney McLeod that I expect than the 2019 version after the year off the injury. I expect 2020 version to be more similar to 2017 than 2019 Rodney McLeod. Because again, I love his knock Corona. Yep. I love his ability in space and tackle. We talk about it. Like having guys in the secondary can tackle in space is so important. Because Slay's not a big tackler. Slay don't really want to get his beak wet. All right? So you better have guys behind him that love to get their beak wet then. Or it's big play city. And you don't want big play city. The reason we won in 2017 is our secondary, regardless of their faults coverage-wise, all love the tackle.
Didn't give up big plays. Yeah.
Yes. And they were lights out in the red zone. Yes. Lights out in the red zone.
And Marcus, I've seen Marcus. You're right, Marcus. His whole family hates him. Just completely falls apart in the contract year. Family hates him. They could be whining and dining right now. Instead, they're quarantining, eating PB&J like us.
Eating ramen. They don't know when the next meal's coming.
Ramen.
I like Darby for a second, too. The injury just caught up.
We know you did.
Yeah.
Look, it's an injury thing, dude. It's not a talent thing. It's an injury.
Yeah, that's it.
Wells was it an injury thing in 2017 when he balled out? Because he balled in 2017.
Yeah, did he?
If he would have came up in free agency after 2017, he's getting paid like a top 15 corner. If he is free agency after 2017, he gets paid like a top 15.
Did he miss half the year?
Yep, 8 games.
Yeah.
Still
That's
would
half the
have
season.
paid up. Still would have got paid if his contract was up after that year.
Agreed to disagree.
The injuries are what held his career back, obviously. Not talent. Not that he couldn't play. He's never.
Yeah, that's it.
And the injuries crept up.
Best ability is availability, though.
Well, I understand. Thanks for clearing that up. I didn't know that. But when he's available in Buffalo over there, when he's available in Buffalo, was he a number one corner? When we went out and got Ronald Darby, were you sitting there clapping? Because I know you were, because we talked about it. So
I was clapping. I was on the clap with.
You weren't happy with Ronald Darby?
Ooh, clap.
Ronald Darby? That's what you're going to tell me? Now guys are going to start going or backtracking. Now we're going to backtrack and say we weren't happy.
I was more happy. No, I was more happy to get rid of Jordan Matthews than anything, actually.
One has nothing to do with the other. Don't run from
Well,
it.
it does because they traded one for the other.
Now
So it
I will
does.
purposely spend my next quarantine 24 hours going to searching for fucking tape of when we got Ronald Darby because I want to expose that last
Do it.
That you
Do it. Do it. Do it.
Wow. True colors are coming out. Listen, I'll expose all your asses today then because I was. Jake, I sure.
First off, it'll only take us an hour to expose you. We get 23 left.
Shit.
We can expose you in an hour. We get 23 left to party.
Don't.
We don't need the 24.
We all admitted the one thing today, right? Let's keep our admitting going. We admitted to we were all locked. We were all jazzed up before week 1 last year. We are gonna put up 40 on everybody. We all looked at me wrong on that. We can all go back and say we loved getting Darby at the time. We had no corners. We loved it. We were like, oh, we got Darby. He was a legit one when we got him. He didn't have the injury history in Buffalo like he started to get here. After the ACL went, it's just an injury. You know what I mean?
Tom, I've been wrong fucking countless times. But I know I've been wrong less than you. I know that for a fact. But I've been wrong countless times.
Same agenda.
No agenda.
I'm just not letting you get off the hook without yelling at you a little bit, too, for your last comment. And don't always got to yell at Wilson.
You can yell. You can find the tape.
Go ahead, yell up. We like when you yell. It's better radio. It's better pod.
We love people who watch tape here. We love it.
Yep. Say Chuck, sir.
Tom, I did want to ask you this because I've been wondering the last handful of weeks with Nelson, and now listen, this might get you fired up, but I would classify Darby as one of your kids. Which kids are left for you?
Stepson.
Stop.
Cousin?
Jalen Mills is definitely a stepson.
Jalen Mills definitely a kid. I never said Darby.
Kid.
So now we're really getting a little aggressive with everybody being my kid because I said I liked it when we signed them. That's different than being my kid. That's just go ahead. Proceed, though. Proceed.
Well, no, you defended him a lot.
I just want to say every time somebody's wrong, I'm going to interrupt and then go ahead. Proceed.
Well, you defended him like a parent.
No, I'm just saying in 2017 when we got Ronald Darby, we weren't excited.
No, it's an exciting time.
Yeah, it's all. I'm not saying I was. Hey,
but
we're good. Go
but
ahead.
here, my question, because especially Nelson, because Nelson was definitely up there. Who's left in that list as far as your kids on the Eagles?
Your starting quarterback, who I've defended more than anybody here. So that's my main son.
So tough. Everyone's got him as a kid.
It is tough. Do you see the people?
Would you stop it? Would you stop it?
You don't know what's tough. You don't know what I'm doing. You don't know what I'm going
You don't know my truths. I know your truths.
You just got on social media, honey. You don't know what I've gone through in group.
Just got on social media. What are you talking about?
I gotta protect him more than any son.
When you had a small zoo in Collingswood, you were like Joe Exotic Part 2 in Collingswood. When you were doing that, I was all over social media. Don't start with me.
It's a small zoo.
Listen, motherfuckers don't know what I'm talking about, but some do. Some do.
Oh,
fucking Tommy Exotic over in Collingswood. I seen you.
I'm changing Tom's contact in my phone to that right now. That's great.
oh.
Where was I? Where is it? So what I'm saying is, you don't know what I've been through with 11. I've done more videos, and Jake and Ryan should fucking attest to this. More videos defending Carson Wentz than anybody.
I'll give you that. No, I'll give you that. But I'm saying everyone loves Carson. Who the fuck doesn't love Carson? He's just number 2 pick overall.
So everybody you like are sons. So what I'm gonna start doing to you, Ryan, since you want to be cute over there in the corner,
I'm over here.
I'm gonna start everybody you've ever liked. I'm gonna start going backtracking, and I'm gonna start figuring out. I don't care. I'm gonna start figuring out.
I couldn't figure it out either. It's backwards.
And I'm gonna start them pulling out. That's easy. That's easy because my stances are loud and aggressive, so it's easy to be like, oh, well, you got any sons left, Tom? You got any sons left?
Chucks is right, though. Chucks is right. We need a kid tracker. You're like Karl Malone. You got kids all over the fucking globe. We need a kid tracker.
See, now you're lashing out.
Karl Malone says.
I'm lashing out. I'm sorry.
I was just trying to funnel that into the next T-shirt. The Tom Kidd T-shirt with all the guys. That would be
awesome. Dude, that would be awesome. I would buy that one. All Tom's kids.
It'd be like a missing children's shirt. You have too
many. Just a bunch of little babies with their fucking jerseys on them.
Too many. You have too many kids.
Tom, you know this. Anything for a good sale. Anything for a sale. That's all.
No, come on. That's all we're doing is trying to make sales.
But there's guys.
Let's go.
There's plenty of guys I got right.
Money speaks.
No, like I'm not. Like I was honestly,
because I won't let you two on a show with me. I'm gonna let one of the two at a time because I'm not gonna let this where you're gonna start buying into his agenda. That's been his agenda since.
Oh, what agenda is that? Expose you, Gate? Is that all? I'm just the only one that's got balls to come at
you. Good.
I feel fine. Are you good?
Somebody's echoing.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Who's echoing?
I don't know.
All right. Could have just been an accident. I got to hold the phone in my other hand. Can't put both up. Sorry. Bottom line, you got a lot of kids, Tom. Okay? Like Karl, kids all over, and a bunch of them have been shit. That's all we're saying.
See, I wasn't even going there. I was just keeping track. I was just saying.
I mean, that's fact too. You might as well bring that up.
It's a fair point.
While we're at it,
it's a fair point.
Yep, I love the guys that go backwards. I'm a big fan of that. Yeah.
Well, that's all we have to do. There's no sports on right now. We have to go backwards.
It makes sense.
What are we watching tonight, Tommy?
It makes sense. We talk so much about in between guys that never have a stance, and they circle the fucking block on their stance. Well, let's attack a guy who has a stance. That's
used to crush me for liking Harper. Now you're riding on his back. Give him piggyback rides.
Fisting, you understand? Because guess what? I got 13 years in. So how am I not all in? I'm gonna hate a rival.
I would hope so.
I'm gonna hate a rival. You're the crumb who didn't hate a rival, not me. You're the one.
That's fine. Just remember that I always liked them. That's all.
Blowjobs on the Nationals, and I wanted to plunk them. Oh, I'm sorry. I am apologetic. Get a grip. Get a clue. Get a feel.
I didn't want to give him blowjobs. I just thought he was really good. You said before we signed him last year that he stinks.
I hate him.
Most overrated player in baseball.
Still might be.
Fact.
Still might be. Doesn't mean I don't love him now.
That's not right.
There's truth to it.
That's not right.
I'll put my hands up right now. I may still think J. Mayberry Jr. could still play. Like I may be that guy. So
I love with Daddy. If you ever seen Big John.
Yeah,
I'm gonna date myself here, but I was a Ricky Leday guy for a while. Okay, Ricky Leday.
Wills, we were talking before shows. Wills, before the show, we were talking about like show ideas. That could be a show. Our kids, our sports kids, that did not go well. The guys that we thought were good.
Ricky Leday's up there for me, for sure.
Good point. How many hours you guys got?
I'm here. I'm not leaving for 2 months. I'm here.
I was going to say, we can go back to like 92. All right? I've had kids since 92. William Thomas. When the Eagles traded William Thomas, it was one of the worst days of my life.
There you go, Danny. There you go. I knew I wasn't the only one.
John Mayberry
Jr. fucking stunk, by the way.
Yeah.
He had that one game where he homered twice, and they were both bombs. And,
and I bought it. That was the
this
game.
Dude can play.
That was the game I bought it.
Loser.
Willie Montez.
Oh, my God.
Graham says big Robert Montez fan.
Robert Person.
I hear that. There's a bunch of guys. I was a big Weatherspoon fan when we first got him. The Spoon!
Yeah.
The Spoon stunk.
I was a big Robert Esch guy too. Big Robert Esch guy.
Robert Ash.
Thought Ron Gant was coming over to relive his Braves days. That was wrong.
Ronnie up. I thought Ronnie's going to come in here in 30. He looked great on a baseball card.
Think he hit 9.
Nobody looked better in a uniform than Ron Gant.
Oh, Ron Gant filled a uniform out.
Yeah.
Don't you worry about him.
Like, the sleeves were like real tight. You know what I mean?
It's like a brawny man.
Yeah.
Fucking absolutely.
Tom,
The only thing I remember from Ron Gant as a Philly is he had a great triple where he had like a full Superman dive into third. Besides that, I think he hit like 6 balls all season.
Tom, you can attest to this because it was like 2 weeks after I joined A2D and we wanted to kill each other. I was a big Byron Maxwell guy. I thought that was the greatest signing ever.
Oh, were you? Oh,
Tom and I wanted to kill each other back then because we just kept arguing about Byron Maxwell.
Because I wasn't a big Byron guy.
Nope.
So
No, you weren't.
So I'm wrong at times and I'm right at times.
I'll tip the cap. I'll tip the cap.
No, we all are. That's the thing. At least, nowadays,
So it makes it fun.
You would ask me 10 years ago, I'll tell you I'm never wrong about anything. But now, when it comes to
I'll still tell you that, but I've been wrong plenty.
I despise people that never can say, hey, I've never been wrong about nothing. We all hit and miss. That's the whole sports world. That's what's fun about it. We all hit and miss.
Even the guys with the most knowledge of anybody hit and miss constantly.
I know. That's how I feel.
If you hit 3 picks a draft, you figure you probably have 7 to 8 picks a draft in the NFL. If you hit 3 of them, you're one of the best GMs of all time. If you hit 3 every draft, you're one of the best ever. That's how tough it is. That's really how tough it is.
Chuckster, you gotta add Pumphrey to that list for your kids. You gotta add Pumphrey.
Donnell! He stinks.
Terrible.
Levi said
he was a backup in the XFL.
He lost his job. Yeah, he lost his job.
He was a backup in the XFL. That's just funny.
Crown says, I thought Brian Jordan would be the next Bo Jackson.
I remember when him and Dion were playing together on both teams, right? Fucking Falcons and Braves.
Mm-hmm.
I love this conversation. Dan McGuckin said I defended DeMarco Murray to no end.
So did I.
Hated me. Hated my takes in 2015.
Yep. Same, Danny. I was rooting for him when he was on the Titans. I was like, oh, I told you he's a top 3. He's a top 3.
Yeah.
Matt Spill says he's been wrong like twice his entire life. He'll admit it.
It's very big of you.
Oh, Mike Crum said Jack Flaherty is my son. So I want to know.
Tough to say that now. Jack Flaherty's your son. Dude's a fucking stud.
I want to know who that one.
You were
guy.
jerking off Goldschmidt with 2 hands going into the season last year. He didn't have a very good year. That's all I'm saying, Chrome. 2 hands. You're like, fucking going to win MVP. We're going to win the World Series. Oh, my God. I can't wait to get his fucking cock in my mouth. And then look what happened. Not a good year. And you were trashing Harper all the way to like mid-July. Terrible pickup of Harper. You were saying Harper had a better year than Goldschmidt. Eat a dick. Love it. I still love you, Chrome. I love you.
What was your question, Tom?
The
one guy.
Reno Mahi. I high-fived him when he was working at Chicky and Pete's.
The one
only dude. First off, you got to tip your cap to Reno Mahi. Dude was working at Chicky and Pete's the entire time he was an Eagle because he was like, I'm not good. At some point, I'm going to get cut. Still was able to hang on for a few seasons. Got to really tip your cap to that guy.
Oh, my God.
Might have been because he was a Mormon and Andy was just a fellow follower. But you never know.
Religion gate.
Yeah. Fucking, what do they call them? Ah, fuck. I don't know. Screwed that one up. When they have multiple wives. Damn it.
Oh, sister wives.
Nah, I don't know.
Nah.
It's gone.
Oh,
What do they call the people that have multiple wives? What's that term?
Cheaters? I don't know.
No, it's.
I don't know. I don't know.
You're allowed to.
No, you're allowed to. They're allowed. Fuck. Someone will say it.
I thought it was sister wives. I don't know.
That's what the wives are called. The wives are called sister wives.
Oh, okay.
Polygamists. Maybe they're just polygamists. He was just a big fan of polygamy. There it is. Took me a second. I had 5 beers.
You're back. All right. So the one guy you defended more than anybody else. Give me one guy. You guys in the family out there, let us know. One guy you defended more than anybody else.
Oh my God. There's a lot of them.
Donovan McNabb, but I still love Donovan. I don't even care. He can keep driving drunk. I love Donovan. Okay, Dom was my guy at Syracuse. Everybody knows I'm a Cuse guy. Dom was my guy at Syracuse. When everyone was booing him when we drafted him, I was cheering. That's all I'm saying. Still a 5 guy. Still a fan. I can agree. I agree that 5 is going to, if he was roller coaster was going up for a while, it's been going down for a while now. But I'm still a fan.
Tom, that's a great question. I got to think about that for a second because it's a long list for me.
Me as well.
Jake, anybody?
There's other guys that I was not a Brandon Graham guy, and he's really turned it around. I will tip the cap to Brandon. He's made the biggest play in Eagles history, and for a while I was harping about how much he stunk. So I'll tip the cap there.
I can go. Jake,
you can go Marcus Smith, Tom. Tom, you can make a list of guys.
Smith. If you want to go recent, I think with me, I'd have to say Aguilar. Like once he hit that 3rd year, I was going nuts. But that once after the Super Bowl, it just kind of, I'm like, okay, he's back there. Never mind.
I can go a couple different ways. I could go Sixers related. I could stick with the Eagles on it. I could make a case for one Markelle Fultz. I know Danny and me were talking about this Wednesday where we were protecting our kid. Standing ovations for 3-pointers. That's fun. And I could talk about the guy I just talked about not even that long ago, Carson Wentz, and how much I defended him. And Wilson, you took Donovan right out of my mouth because that's where I was going to go. But now
we're fans.
But now with social media more, it's more on the lines of defending these other guys, and defending them out and about in a way. And me, I'm going to stay with Carson. I think that's the guy I defended the most. It's not the easy one, but I have defended, other guys in similar spots. Like we defended Fultz. I defended Joel. I defended Ben. So, I always.
Well, we're talking about guys that you defended when they weren't good, though. Carson doesn't.
Well, I asked the question. So I was asking about guys you defended. So
you're the worst. You're the absolute worst.
That's fine. Okay, guys, I gave you Fultz. So, I don't know. I defended a guy who didn't play. So, I don't know how.
I'll tell you another one that you defended. Okay, and we can go back and check tape on this. I got another one. No. Stop. Let me go.
I asked you.
This isn't even that bad because he never even played. He never even played a game.
Who did you
defend? Andrew Bynum was the guy that you were like, once he gets on the court, he's going to be great. Never even got on the court. So I can't even get mad at you there. But
we all didn't like that trade when it first happened. We all weren't a fan of that. Now you're going to run from that too.
I'm not running from anything. I'm right here.
I
don't wear headphones a lot. They keep falling out of my ears.
I think for me, my top 2, and I was trying to think of other names just to shake it up, but to me, it's absolutely Maxwell and DeMarco Murray. It's absolutely those 2.
Mm-hmm.
And Mayberry.
Chrome. Tommy was the Papelbon guy too, big time.
Still is.
I like Jonathan as well.
I like Pop. Always have. Jake took Aguilar. I defended Aguilar through that stretch. I did defend Brandon Graham through it. I know you probably remember that, Wells, but I was always.
You did. You were. I will give. I was the one that was against you, so I remember. Yeah, I remember.
So,
Tom, what about Brett Brown?
No, I given that up though.
No, yeah. Now you have. Yeah.
But yes, I was a big players play in the NBA. It still holds true. Mm-hmm. But some things were just too alarming to not say, okay, dude, I can't continue to pound my head off a wall and then sound like an idiot defending you. So,
I was the Michael Carter Williams guy, another one. But he's a Cuse guy. Doesn't count. I defend all the Cuse guys to death. Okay? Still pissed that we got rid of Jeremy Grant. Dude's a stud now. Pissed about that.
Chuck, I completely agree with you. Jeremy Maclin, I think me and Will should say the same thing. That he was a more complete wide receiver than Djax at the time.
He was a better receiver. I still stand by he was a better receiver. I think Djax had as good of a career he had because of how good Maclin was next to him.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're right.
I know mine. It's easy. It's Marcus Mariota. I know it's not Philly, but Mariota is my number 1. That I feel like I still try to defend him.
Yeah, that's your guy.
Is he going to win the Vegas job?
Yes, because Derek Carr stinks.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, they both stink. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Jalen.
I don't think he's going to win the job, but okay.
It's so bad over there. Jalen Hurts might win the job by season's end when they draft him like the third round.
If they draft Jalen Hurts in the third round, then it's definitely bad over there. Jalen Hurts is a 5th to 7th to not getting selected pick as a quarterback.
Agreed.
No offense to the guy. I like him. I think he went about his college career the correct way, staying at Alabama and not transferring out immediately when Tua beat him out like fucking 90% of the kids that do now. And it actually worked in his favor. He was able to get in and get them to the championship game. And then he was able to go to Oklahoma and have a great fucking season. So I'll tip my cap to the kid. He's just not a pro quarterback.
Nope. I agree.
No, he is not. Sorry, just flying through the comments here.
I hear you on Drew, Chrome. And I feel like Drew should be defended. I love these guys that think Drew's not good. Fucking superstar. Right. Superstar. People, Tommy. Other way. There we go. Tommy was one. Not a big Drew guy. I've always been. Stud. Absolute stud. Has he had the greatest numbers? No. But the dude's been the best player on our team for a decade.
There's a difference from not being a Drew guy and thinking at a point last year that it was the best point to move on.
You've been talking about for 4 years.
How good has this hockey team been for 4 years?
Not very good. I agree.
That's all. Was looking for an influx of talent, Brian. Any way I could get it. They went about the other way. I'm happy with the way they went about it. Simple. But through bad years of hockey, the only asset, I thought it might be time to move on. Didn't mean I didn't like him. Didn't mean I didn't think he could play. Just meant that I thought it was time maybe to move on because we weren't any good. So we had to address getting younger somehow. That's all the reason.
I seen somebody say Pat Burrell. That's another guy I always back to. I was a Pat guy, bad Pat. I still think that Pat's underappreciated because the fact is he struck out a lot. You know, he took that. He would little inside move, inside fucking corner, ring him up all day. And we get all pissed off about that. Just what the fuck, Pat? Foul it off. But to me, the dude still gave you 25 to 30 and 90 plus every year, and we've been missing it since he's been gone. So I love Pat. I still love Pat.
One more question.
Big Pat guy.
Now give me the one guy that was good. Okay, that you had to defend. Oh, and I know mine already, so I'll just start.
Or that you didn't like?
No. The one guy that you loved was a good player, but you still felt the need to defend him because you were wrong with your first answer. And then you tried to do my first answer because you said Donovan, and then you tried to tell me, well, those guys who weren't good. Well, Donovan was good.
Oh, that's true. Donovan was good.
I just like going back on you now because I just want to show to people how wrong you were when you tried to belittle my answer when you gave the same type of fucking answer. All right, and then you tried to change.
Yeah, most of that was like later though. I said he was up. He was up, and then he was down.
To try to prove me wrong, you went out of your way.
I don't have to try to prove you wrong.
Prove yourself wrong with your own answer.
Is that correct?
Talk about being fucked up here.
You're all over the go. You haven't pointed at me yet.
Tom, is this just for your question? Is it just Philly or is it national as well?
Whatever, because mine's Ryan Howard.
Wow.
Mine is Ryan Howard.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But like I had to defend a guy even through his 5-year stretch of ridiculousness. I feel like I still had to defend him over strikeouts. That's what I had to spend 5 years.
At the end.
Shut your mouth.
At the end.
From the very beginning, there was callers talking about he's like that 200 times a year. He's got to cut down on him.
Oh, when he's hitting 56, nobody cares. I hear you.
Yeah,
when he's hitting 22, people care.
I feel like I had to defend him for majority of his career. Majority.
I'll back you up on that. He was one of your kids.
Yep, kid talk.
I know that. I'll back you on that. He was a successful son, one of the only. Yeah.
Jimmy was a son.
Jimmy's a guy. There's a good player I didn't like. I like Jimmy. I like Jimmy, but Jimmy used to drive me crazy back in the day. I'm talking way before we won the World Series. Jimmy used to drive me crazy because he fucking popped up all day long, and I used to fucking lose my mind. But I will admit that I was never a big Jimmy Rollins fan, and Jimmy Rollins is borderline Hall of Famer, great player. I just never was the biggest fan. I'll admit that.
For me, I'll go national. It's absolutely Christian McCaffrey. I used to do a show with a guy going back, obviously, to the 2016 draft, and I kept saying the Eagles should try and trade up. The Eagles should try and trade up. He would be perfect in this system. He'd be perfect with Wentz, and it wouldn't be just one guy. It'd be a bunch of people. Oh no, I don't want him. He doesn't do anything. He's a wide receiver and a running back. Or he's just a punt returner. He wouldn't fit. He's too small. And I would say this guy could be a top 10 player in all the league, not just a top 5, top 10 running back in the league. Mm-hmm. And the guy is, he's
the best running back in the league right now.
Yes, and would you guys say that he's a top? Because I would consider him borderline top 10 player in the NFL, to be completely honest. When you talk about difference makers,
I don't put that much on running back wise, but I hear you right. I mean, at this point, you can argue a couple other guys, Saquon, but just because of how great he is out of the backfield as a receiver, and on top of how good he is as a runner, to me, he's the top back in the league right now.
Yep, exactly. And I think that he'll be able to, like we talked about this the other day, Tom, to where, I think he's not, like we say, he's not just a running back, to where he could have a longer shelf life in this league, because once he gets older, he could become more of a wide receiver in the slot. You can use him in so many different ways. He's not a one-trick pony.
No,
so
I'm gonna throw an old name on at you. He was never the runner. He was never the runner that Christian is, but he was a great receiver, and he ended up being a great receiver all the way till he was like late 30s. Was Kevin Falk for the Patriots? Great slot receiver, and McCaffrey's same type of way. Great receiver. Now Falk wasn't the runner that McCaffrey is, but he was a great receiver.
True.
Jake?
I think mine,
LSU product, by the way. Jake's a fan.
I think my big one was, especially coming in the draft, they talked down about him a lot. I forget what school he came out of. Cooper Kupp is my big one. Drafted in the third round, nothing but a complete and utter stud. Tore his ACL back in 2018, had over, I think, 1,100 yards this year. Guy is a stud.
I like Cooper Kupp a lot. I'm right with you on that.
Love him.
I love him coming out.
Me too. Very underrated. Very underrated. So, real quick before we roll, just give me a yes or no. Sammy Watkins, you want him? Yes or no? Any interest?
I'll take him.
I'll say yes. I'd take him
for cheap. Yes.
Yeah. If he gets cut, I'd sign him. I'm not trading for him.
That's what I mean. Only if he gets cut. If he gets cut. This isn't a go out and deal.
Oh, yeah, then definitely, yeah.
Nope.
Then yes, I'd take him. I'm all about competition. We've said this before. I'll bring in guys that are good players.
For $5 million a year or under, do you put a flyer out on him?
Yes, absolutely.
No brainer, maybe 6.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah,
put a flyer. I know Chrome's all worked up, but just a flyer, just competition. That's it.
I knew you were going to throw this question at some point.
Well, it was part of the conversation we were coming in with. And here we go with Dante Pettis. My God.
Listen, I know Dante Pettis was talented coming out of Washington, I believe. Really good return man at Washington. But Dante Pettis can't even get on the field for the Niners.
He had a good rookie.
To me, that's an issue. That's an issue to me. And Marcus is saying AB. I got no time to deal with AB's shit.
Yeah, I can't defend him anymore.
I know how good AB is. I have no time to deal with this shit. I don't think anybody in the league will, to be honest with you. I don't think anybody's going to sign.
Maybe somebody that's desperate. But
Patriots reunion.
With nobody to throw him the football.
Yeah,
exactly. Right. Yep.
Or he ends up down in Tampa with Brady down there. That'd be funny.
Nah, Arians shot that down. He's like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Said that yesterday.
And Bill wants to know, Wells, before we get out of here, you got the Patriots winning the East, right?
I do.
Yeah, and he's wrong. He's wrong. The Bills. So, Bill, I
think my phone's about to die, but I do.
It is. I can tell. It's slowing down on us. All right, fam. Glad you joined us today. You got the rundown tomorrow with Mr. Jake Friel. All right, so we'll see you again tomorrow. Chat up again. And then me and the big fella will be back Sunday. Ooh, want to agree or disagree? We'll love it out here. Here we go.
There we go.
We're not all up on people. Jeez.
I got scared for a second.
We said hello to a lot of people. So you'll have that tomorrow. And then obviously agree, disagree Sunday. Saturday night you'll have In This Very Ring. I assume Andy's going on. And then Sunday you'll have agree, disagree, and the rundown. So stay tuned. Shows for the rest of the week here, and then obviously shows daily. And then we're going to bring you this little one every Tuesday and Friday for right now. 1 o'clock tentative starts. And we'll try to bring you that and give you something to talk about with us every day. Like we said, thank God for the NFL keeping us with stuff going here and continuing the sports. I know I wanted to bring up Kirk Herbstreit today. We didn't have time, but you can go look up where Kirk said about the 2020 football season. How he doesn't believe there will be one.
We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Okay, good, because there's no vaccine. So that'll be a good conversation tomorrow on A2D. So stay with us, fam. Turn your alerts on. Like, subscribe, follow. For Tom Arnone, Ryan Brodo, Jake Friel, Brian Wilson, wherever he may be now. And all you out there, we love you. And thank you to our 2 sponsors, Ambuck Services and SpecializedPhysicalTherapy.com. You can find them both on the web. Both will take care of you. And Ambuck, 20% off. You tell them A2D sent you. So taking care of you. And remember, there's merch, and there's some limited edition merch on Philly Drinker's site. You can catch the link right in our description on Facebook right now, right in the live show. There's merch there. Get it while it's hot. I know the one A2D radio one with all the Philly sports guys. That's limited edition, so it won't be around long. But the other new spring collection's out. It's freaking awesome. Got some gear last night. I actually like the Sixers one with the no notes, like the jersey.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, so I got that one, and I got the black hat, and I got the limited edition T-shirt for right now, just before that was added.
A lot of colors too. A lot of colors on that one too.
Yeah.
And then Matt Spill says peace, and he's getting another beer. Talking to who else? Bill says be safe, everyone. Right back at you, brother. Chrome, awesome show, guys. Thanks for helping me get through my workday. Hey, that's what we're doing it for. You know it, Cromer. Stay home, hub, Willie. Boys, we out. Jake, see you tomorrow.
All right, guys.
We'll all see each other in 5 seconds.
All right.
Jake, wait till the stream's over to jump out this time.
All right.
All right. Twittergate, we'll explain on the other side. We're out.